All right, everybody, welcome to the video for lesson number 8 in our volume chapter. So in this homework assignment, there's only one question because these tend to take a little bit more time to be able to solve. So looking at this question, it tells us that Sandra went to the local ice cream shop and she got an ice cream cone. So that's going to obviously wind up being a cone shape, and you'll also have a hemisphere. She notices that the cone has a diameter of 2.4 inches and a slanted height of 4.2 inches, which is labeled in your picture. Assuming the entire cone is filled with ice cream and only half of a spherical scoop lies on top, how many cubic inches of ice cream does she get in one single scoop cone? So what we have to do is we have to find the volume of the cone, which is 1/3 pi r squared h. And we have to find the volume of the hemisphere, which is half of 4/3 pi r cubed. The reason why we're only using half, even though the bottom half of the sphere of ice cream is in the cone, is we're already taking consideration of that volume. So we do know the radius. So the radius is going to be 1.5, 1.2, because it's half of 2.4. Unfortunately, I don't know the height of the cone. So if I look at just this triangle, I have 1.2, I have a 4.2, and I have a height that I don't know. So if I do 1.2 squared plus the height squared is equal to 4.2 squared, I can solve this using just regular Pythagorean theorem. So if I do 1.2 squared, that gives me 1.44. And if I do 4.2 squared, that gives me 17.64. If I do some subtraction, if I subtract that 1.44 the other side, I get h squared equals 16.2. And if I square root that, square root of 16.2 is some crazy looking decimal. Now remember, this is not my answer, so I want to round out well past what my answer is going to be. So about 4 decimal places. So now I know the height of the cone. So now we can go through and start to find the volume. So the volume of the cone is 1/3 times pi times the radius, 1.2 squared, times the height we just found, 4.0249. So the volume of the cone, if I plug this in my calculator, it doesn't ask us to do this in terms of pi, it's estimating it, right, to nearest cubic inch. So we do 1/3 of pi times 1.2 squared times that 4.0249 number. And this is not my final answer, so I'm not going to round this yet. So 6.0694. For the volume of the hemisphere, if I plug in just the radius, because that's the only thing I need to find the volume of a hemisphere, 1.2 cubed, and plug that into my calculator, so if I plug that in, I get 3.6191. So if I find the total ice cream volume, to the nearest cubic inch, which means round to nearest whole number, I'm just going to add those two answers together. So I have 6.0694 plus 3.6191. So that gives us 9.6, which rounds to 10 cubic inches. The next question says that how many cubic inches of ice cream would she get if she got 2 scoops, assuming all scoops of ice cream were equal in size? Well, if a half a scoop is 3.6191, that means 1 scoop is 2 of them. So if I do 2 times 3.6191, I know the volume of a whole nother scoop, which is 7.2382. So if I know the whole volume of the ice cream with a half a scoop on top or a 1 scoop that's stuffed in, if I add a whole second scoop on top, it's another 7.2. So again, rounding to the nearest cubic inch. So a 2 scoop ice cream is equal to 10 plus the 7 from the whole 1 scoop, so 17 inches squared full of ice cream. Hopefully this lesson video helped you. Hopefully it didn't make you too hungry for ice cream. And best of luck with the homework, and I'll see you all tomorrow.